So, what are some phrases or terms that you might hear on the floors of the state capitol? Well, there are a handful of them. These are the ones that I hear most often. Call of the House. It's a phrase used to describe when the presiding officer in the Senate or Assembly directs the Senate or Assembly Sergeant at Arms to close the doors and bring into the chamber the absent members in order to vote on a measure or to establish a quorum. Another is parliamentary inquiry, which sometimes gets confused with point of order. A parliamentary inquiry is a term used by a member of the Senate or Assembly during a proceeding, either in committee or on the floor, to raise a question about procedure, a parliamentary procedure. And then the member is recognized by the presiding officer for this motion. And then, of course, the inquiry is made and an answer is given. On the other hand, a point of order is used by a senator or assembly member to bring to the attention of the presiding officer that there's an alleged violation of the rules, of the procedural rules. So after recognition, the legislator states his or her point of order, and the presiding officer makes a ruling on whether or not that point of order is valid. Another is privileges of the floor, which is a term used to describe when a legislator has been granted permission by the House for a guest, for example, a family member or constituent, to view the legislative proceedings from the floor of the chamber rather than in the gallery. A quorum call. This is the House's call to bring in the absent members who are needed to establish a quorum in order to begin the proceedings of the House. Condition of the file is another one, and that is used by a legislator to make a brief statement, generally at the close of the floor session. And basically, the member is saying to his or her colleagues that it's not appropriate at this time for the House to adjourn. Now, the state Senate doesn't formally set a time limit for speaking on the condition of the file, although generally they're limited to 5 minutes. On the other hand, Assembly Rule 84 says that prior to adjourning, any member may state a fact relating to the condition of the business of the assembly, but they're limited to 2 minutes. Another common phrase you'll hear is adjourn in memory, or AIM for short. And this is used to describe when a legislator has been granted permission to adjourn the House, the Assembly, or Senate in memory of an individual who is deceased. The member's request is made in writing and is read by the House's presiding officer, and then the member's statement occurs prior to adjournment and is put into the journal of the Assembly or the Senate for that day. The last common one you'll hear is only on the Senate side. The desk is clear, and it's used there prior to recognizing a motion to adjourn. It basically means that there's no further business to come before the House on that particular legislative day.